Hi guys, my name is Steffen. I am the developer of Taawn. I had this idea a couple of years ago to develop a tool that works a lot better than Strava because I was always not frustrated, but I find it funny that people would compare themselves with GPS tracks on trails, and that this whole concept of the COM is a bit weird for GPS recordings because it's just so inaccurate, especially in the forest. So I had the idea that one might use or should use GoPro recordings because a lot of people use them and also professionals use them a lot. And I had the idea to use GoPro's trail cam videos to do this alignment. But of course, just aligning to GoPro videos might look a bit boring because it's hard to actually compare frame by frame where people are, and because you need to stop the video all the time, you would need to basically realign frames if you want to compare a segment inside or in the trail at some point, or some specific line choice, for example. So this whole thing here, I call it Taawn, a trail metaverse, to give it a big picture, is a bit more involved than just aligning two videos. Actually, there is a two-stage process. The first is you have to reconstruct the trail using the video as an input. So basically, we perform a full 3D reconstruction of the trail. And after that, after you created that reference reconstruction, that reference video, you basically can align a second video to it. You can basically localize the second video in the first one with accurate 3D coordinates, rotations and translations of the camera movement on the trail. And with that, you get a very, very accurate, probably centimeter accurate alignment of the two runs. And this is what basically Taawn is. You can do that with Taawn at the moment, and I'm going to show you today how to upload a reference video and how to reconstruct it and what the result of that is. And then in this next video, I'm going to show you how to add a second run to that can then be compared to the first one, and how you can create segments and accurately overlay where your position within the first video was. So as I said, this is the login screen. I'm going to show you the front end today, but to be honest, I'm a really bad front-end developer. I'm a computer vision scientist, and I have no idea about good user interfaces and front-ends. I basically developed this in Svelte. It's a reactive front-end framework. It was easy to use, and it's by no means good. So if there is anyone out there who wants to join the project, who is interested in that kind of stuff, is maybe also a mountain biker or not, and just wants to be part of a cool project, what I think is cool, please don't hesitate to get in contact and contact me, and we can see if you can help out or join the project somehow. So there's a demo account. Basically, you could register, but you would need an invite code at the moment to do that. So I created a demo account, and we can log in here. And this is the interface at the moment. As you can see, it's very basic as a settings page for the user. You can upload an avatar if you want. You can sign out, sign in again. So this is just a really basic user interface. And on top, you see three tabs. One is the camera tab. I'm going to explain what that means in a second. Then there's the compare runs tab. This will be covered in the next video. And the first tab is the My Reference Trails tab. So this is basically where you can upload your reference trail. What reference trail usually means, for example, if you do a run over, like you go out riding and then you stop at the trail and you have your GoPro with you, you basically just start the GoPro. I will talk a bit more about what settings to choose and what's best to use there. And then you basically press start. You don't need to press start at the very beginning. You can also set the segment in this interface here later, and then you write your trail, and then at the bottom you just press stop, and you can also set the end of the segment in this interface. As you can see here, what you will also need to do is select the camera model. So this is the first thing we need to do because there is no camera model at the moment. So we go to cameras and we add a new camera. And what this means is to actually do this reconstruction and accurate alignment, we will need to have a calibrated camera. And the calibrated camera has these type of parameters. It has intrinsics. Intrinsics means the internal camera parameters like focal length, width, height, a so-called principal point, and some distortion parameters. At the moment, this needs to be done in advance, this calibration, but in the future, this might also be done automatic without your having to do anything as a user. At the moment, you basically need to add one. I will just add one here, GoPro 9. This is my camera basically. Then we are going to add a camera JSON file. You can also enter this manually, but it's not fun doing that. As you can see, it sets a focal length, some aspect ratios, principal point, which is basically close to the center of the image, and a distortion and some width and height parameters. And you just add that. And now we got a initialize basically our GoPro camera. And in the next step, you can now actually upload a trail. You can upload a video and create a new trail, a reference trail from your run. And I'm going to do that here. I was riding in close to Jena in Germany, and the trail was called Milo's Claw. And yeah, this was run 1. I did the first run of the day. And now we basically need to select a video file. So basically I call this run 1, just downloaded it from the GoPro camera. On the smartphone, you can also just download it from the camera and put it in here. Now we can set the camera. And you would also need to choose if the camera was mounted upside down. Also manually at the moment, but I might implement this, that this be automatic in the future, because I think these metadata is also saved in the GoPro somewhere. Then we can upload the video. This will take some time, and I'm going to pause the video now and continue if the upload is finished. All right, we are back. Now that the video has been uploaded and there was some post-processing on it, like downsampling it and so on, because we don't need the full resolution to do these computations now on the video. You can see that we now have a new row here with the trail name, the upload date, the latitude and longitude where the recording was taken from the GPS of the GoPro camera. You do see that there is no 3D reconstruction yet. We're going to do that now, and there's also no start and end of the segment defined. So if you open that tab, you can basically see 3 views here. One is the map, so you can basically see where the video was recorded with that red circle here. So as you can see, this is very close to Jena in Germany. Somewhere in the middle of the forest. The trail is called Milo's Claw, as you can see also on the map here. In the middle you see the video. It's just a preview of the recording. On the right side you will see a 3D reconstruction once the video has been reconstructed. You see also that it was recorded with 50 FPS. You also see the frame time and if the camera was mounted upside down. And up top here, the first thing you will now need to do is to select a segment. So we don't need the full video because we don't want to start the segment here on the flat area, but we actually want to start it basically where this the trail actually starts here. So we will pause the video here. We set the section start, and what you can see here is basically the frame ID of that particular frame. And then we just let the video run. We can just stop it and set the section end here. Okay, now it tells us we at least need 200 frames in between. So let's keep it running a bit. So we could now set it to this, but this is a very short segment, of course. I would prefer to show you a longer segment so that we can actually see some things. So we will now go to that part of the trail. I don't know where that is, but we just set the section end here, and now we can basically say, okay, this is our section. We want to create a segment here, and we want to then compare other videos to that. Or we could also go to the end of the trail, for example, and say, okay, I want to create a full, actually, let's do that. This is basically the end of the trail. We say, okay, up to here, and this is where we stop the time, and we set the section end time. All right. And now the button Start Reconstruction appeared, and you can now basically tell him to reconstruct your run based on the images and the sensor data of the camera. And we're now going to do that. And this will now take a couple of minutes again, and I will stop the recording and show you the result. What you can basically see now, this is not updating automatically at the moment, is if the processing is started, we have to wait a couple of seconds. This will basically jump to processing. Now it's processing, as you can see. And we now have to wait a couple of minutes. I will pause the video now. All right, we're back, and you can see that now the 3D reconstruction of our reference trail is available. And we can now have a look how that looks. So the first thing you see here now on the map view is that we have two reconstructions, or two trail runs. Basically, this is actually not two runs. The blue one is the GPS, and the red one is the reconstruction based on the image data. It does look a bit different. It has a similar shape, but the accuracy of the red one is a lot higher. You can see, maybe it's visible here in the GPS, you got these jumps in between, stuff like this. It's a couple of meters left and right. And the red one is pretty smooth. So what you can see here is basically the image-based reconstruction is a lot more accurate. It's not that obvious from the trail here, but you can see it now when I start the video. So again, in the middle you see the video, and now on the right side you see the 3D reconstruction. And if I now press the play button, you can see here these points is basically 3D points that the algorithm reconstructed in the background. You can see the trail here, you can see some trees standing around, and you also see the red path here. This is basically your run. This is the movement of the camera over the trail, basically, and the movement of the camera in 3D. And you can also see the point here, that's you, and you can see this frostum here, which should display or should visualize or depict the camera, basically. And yeah, you can see my run here down the trail, and you can see perfectly how accurate and how well reconstructed the trail is, that we can now use and align a second video onto, but that I will show in the next video. Yeah, and now the replay starts again over from the start, and you can see also here on the left. Oh, no, this is weird. No, that's weird. Okay, now here you can see also the red circle moving on the map. It's not 100% accurate. That's just GPS coordinates. So basically, I converted the trail reconstruction back to GPS coordinates. So there's some inaccuracies in there, but this is just to get a glimpse of where you are at the moment on the trail. And yeah, that's the reference trail reconstruction. And in the next video, we are going to see how we can now add a new trail to compare to this reference run. Again, if you are interested in joining that project, if you have feedback, have any ideas what else you can do with that, let me know, and see you for the next video.